There are forces around you that you cannot see. Frequencies, codes, silent messages, constantly speaking to your subconscious, waiting for the perfect moment to awaken what has long been asleep inside you. Your soul knows them. It has always known. But perhaps until today you were not yet ready to fully hear, to fully feel. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are not too late. The reason this message has reached you now is because the energy surrounding you is shifting. And this shift is no accident. It's a calling, a summoning, a reminder from the universe and the angelic realm that you are standing at the threshold of something greater than your current understanding. These are not just poetic words or mystical dreams. What I am about to reveal is real, alive, and vibrating in the space between your breaths. There are 7 quantum codes, divine patterns of energy, that hold the potential to awaken parts of you that have been sleeping for decades, maybe even lifetimes. And once they begin to stir, nothing in your life will remain the same. The first of these codes is permission. That may seem simple, but it is revolutionary. You must give yourself permission to remember who you really are. The greatest truth is often the most buried. You have been powerful all along. Somewhere along the way, that truth was covered. By fear, by doubt, by the expectations of others. But it was never lost, only hidden. Before we continue this sacred revelation, I ask you to pause and affirm the truth to the universe. Write in the comments, "I allow my true self to awaken now." This is your mantra, this is your initiation. Now, let's continue the message. Every person walking this earth carries within them a sleeping potential, a sacred map to their destiny encoded in their very cells. Science has only scratched the surface of this truth, but the ancients knew it well. The angelic realms whisper it constantly to those willing to hear. If you have ever felt a deep restlessness, an unshakable sense that something inside you was waiting to be triggered, then this message is for you. You are not imagining it. The life you've lived until now was not all there is. There is more, so much more. And the code of permission is your gateway. But permission alone is not enough. It must be followed by activation, the second code. Activation happens the moment you step out of the identity you've worn for survival and into the truth of your being. It's uncomfortable. It feels risky. But your soul has never been interested in comfort. It seeks truth, expansion, purpose. You may have noticed lately that things around you no longer fit. Certain people, places, thoughts, or routines suddenly feel heavy, outdated, like old clothes on a growing body. This isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. It's the early sign that your consciousness is stretching towards something higher, something truer. The third code is trust, not blind trust, but sacred trust. The kind that whispers in your heart when logic screams the opposite. The kind that tells you how to go forward, even when the path is unclear. Trust is the currency of the awakened. It is the bridge between where you've been and where your soul longs to go. So many people wait for signs to appear in the sky before they take action. But what they don't realize is that their own inner alignment is the sign. When your vibration shifts, the world shifts to match you. You don't have to chase your destiny. It comes to meet the version of you who is ready. The fourth code is surrender. This one challenges the ego deeply. To surrender doesn't mean to give up, but to give over. To stop fighting against your own soul. To release the need to control every outcome and finally admit, there is a higher intelligence guiding me. This is where miracles begin. Have you ever wondered why certain things seem to fall apart just when you thought they were falling into place? It's not chaos, it's correction. The universe does not destroy, it recalibrates. It dismantles the false to reveal the authentic. And this brings us to something vital. When you start to awaken, life will test your readiness. You will be faced with old fears wearing new disguises. Do not be alarmed. This is part of the process. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you, to prove to your subconscious mind that you are truly changing. Now something very important is about to be revealed. Something most people never understand. The more awake you become, the more responsibility you carry. Why? Because awareness is power. You can no longer pretend you didn't know. You can no longer return to sleep. The moment the light touches you, the shadows begin to dissolve, but they also resist. Stay anchored. The fifth code is responsibility, not guilt, not blame, but energetic responsibility. You begin to see that your energy, your thoughts, your emotions create ripples in your reality. You stop being a victim and become a conscious creator. This is the shift that changes your destiny, but that's not all. There's something even deeper at work here. When these codes begin to awaken within you, your vibration begins to call forth experiences, people, and opportunities that align with your truest self. This is not wishful thinking, it's frequency mathematics, like attracts like. And if your frequency changes, your life must follow. Have you ever felt like something invisible was holding you back, like you were walking through life with a weight on your chest you couldn't explain? That's because part of your consciousness was still in sleep mode. These codes are the alarm clock, and now that you've heard the tone, you cannot unhear it. The angels are with you, not in some distant cloud, but right here, closer than your own breath. They've always been here, waiting, watching, whispering. And now they are moving with urgency because you are ready. You might feel strange physical sensations, tingling in your hands, sudden chills, pressure in your chest or forehead. Don't be afraid. These are signs of awakening. Your body is catching up to what your soul already knows. The sixth code is presence. The more present you become, the more power you access. The future no longer holds you hostage. The past no longer chains you. You become the conductor of now, and in that now everything is possible. And the seventh code, the one that binds them all, is alignment. Alignment is when your soul, your mind, and your actions speak the same language. No more compromise, no more pretending, no more delay. When you live in alignment, life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that unfolds through you. This isn't magic. This is the design of your soul. If you're watching this right now, let the angels know where you're tuning in from. Drop your city in the comments. Your location isn't random, it's part of your alignment. There are no coincidences in the fabric of your awakening, only patterns finally becoming visible. If you felt something stir within you during the last message, that wasn't just emotion. That was your soul responding to truth, a resonance, a signal, a sacred reminder that your story is about to take a dramatic turn, and you are not meant to walk this path asleep anymore. Let's go deeper. Most people live their entire lives repeating patterns that were never theirs to begin with. Inherited fears, unconscious beliefs, cycles of scarcity, limitation, and doubt passed down from generations who never had the chance to break free. But you were born to interrupt that cycle. You are the one who said enough on a soul level. Even before you understood why, something inside you refused to stay small. That fire was never rebellion. It was remembering. There's a code working through you now, one that stirs every time you question the rules you were told to follow blindly, one that activates every time you say no to shrinking and yes to expansion. This is the code of disruption, and it's holy. But disruption isn't easy. It shakes your foundation, not to destroy, but to rebuild. When you begin to wake up, people around you might not understand. You may lose connections. You may feel like the black sheep. That's not failure. That's confirmation. The people who were meant to stay will grow with you. The ones who resist your growth were only meant to meet an older version of you. That version is shedding now, let it go. You are not who you were 6 months ago. You are not who you were yesterday. And the more you honor this truth, the faster things will begin to align. The key is to trust the falling away. Because what seems like loss is actually preparation for expansion. There is something even more powerful unfolding here. But only those with eyes to see will understand. Your external reality is a mirror of your energetic blueprint. If you want to change what's happening outside, you must begin within. Your thoughts create, your words build, your emotions vibrate. And the more you awaken, the more responsibility you hold in the way you speak about your life. That's not pressure, it's power. When you say, "I am stuck," your energy begins looking for evidence to confirm it. When you say, "I am expanding," your frequency begins aligning with opportunities to grow. The quantum codes aren't just mystical, they're measurable. They respond to your vibration, your intention, your decisions. This is why the words you choose are spells. Every sentence is a declaration. So the question is, what reality are you declaring? There's a shift happening in your energy field even as you read this. Can you feel it? A quiet opening, like space being made for something new. That's not imagined, it's real. It's your cells responding to truth. Your DNA carries dormant codes that are awakened through frequency, emotion, intention, and sound. This message is acting as a catalyst. Now, before we continue this message, write in the comments 777 to claim this activation. That number isn't random. It aligns with divine insight, inner mastery, and a breakthrough that's on its way. And if this message has stirred something sacred in your heart, I gently invite you to support this light by clicking thanks or valeur demise. Every contribution helps this mission of awakening reach more hearts around the world. So let's continue. There's something else you need to hear. Something that may shake you, but in the best possible way. You were never meant to fit in. That heaviness you felt in your chest wasn't anxiety. It was your soul suffocating inside a life that no longer matches your vibration. But that discomfort was sacred. It forced you to question. It pushed you to seek. And now that you're seeking, truth will find you, again and again, until you cannot unsee it. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time for your own awakening. The world is waking up in waves, some earlier, some later. But the timing is always divine. What matters is not when you wake, but how you respond once you do. The quantum code of response is now active in you. It whispers, do something with what you now know. Awareness without action becomes heaviness, but awareness with movement becomes transformation. Ask yourself gently, what have I been tolerating that no longer aligns with who I'm becoming? Where am I still choosing safety over authenticity? Who am I when I stop performing and start remembering? These are not small questions, these are portals. Every answer leads you deeper into the truth you came here to embody. And yes, it can feel scary, but fear is often the guardian standing in front of your next expansion. The key is not to avoid it, but to move through it. There is an angel beside you now, holding space for this process. You may not see them, but their presence surrounds you. They've been with you since the beginning, through every dark night, every unanswered prayer, every silent breakdown. And now, they are guiding you through this initiation. That tingling you feel, that breath that just caught in your chest, that's them. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself be supported. What comes next may surprise you. As these codes continue to awaken, you may begin to notice synchronicities accelerating, repeated numbers, sudden insights, uncanny timing. That's not random. That's the quantum field responding to your shift in awareness. You'll also start feeling an inner urge to change things. Your space, your habits, even your relationships. Honor that urge. It's not impulsive, it's intuitive. It's your future self pulling you forward. You are already becoming who you came here to be. And what waits on the other side of this awakening is not just a better version of you, it's a truer version. One that is deeply aligned, divinely supported, and fully awake. But it all begins here, with choice, with permission, with courage. Because once your consciousness awakens, your destiny must follow. What you're feeling right now, the quiet pull in your chest, the sensation that something bigger is unfolding, is not your imagination. It's the pulse of awakening, and it's only getting stronger. The quantum codes are not just ideas, they are frequencies alive within you, reactivating your awareness in real time. And as this awareness expands, so does your reality. But let's get real. Awakening isn't always beautiful at first. Sometimes it's raw, uncomfortable, confusing. It breaks apart illusions you've clung to for years. You may find yourself questioning everything. Your beliefs, your routines, your relationships, even your sense of identity. That's not dysfunction. That's detox. Because here's the truth. Before you step into the reality that matches your true self, everything that isn't aligned has to leave. That process is called energetic clearing, and it can feel like chaos. But don't mistake discomfort for disaster. It's the space where real transformation begins. You're not breaking down, you're breaking open. There is a moment in every awakening where you feel alone, like no one else sees what you see, feels what you feel. That moment is sacred. It's where your personal power is born. The universe often isolates the ones it's about to elevate. So if you feel distant from the world around you, good. You're tuning in to something higher. Something most people are too distracted to hear. This isn't loneliness, It's recalibration, and that recalibration is preparing you to receive. You see, when your inner world shifts, your outer world has to follow. That's the law of frequency. It doesn't matter how hard you try to force something into place. If it's not vibrating on the level of your new awareness, it will fall away. And that's okay. Let it. Let the friendships that no longer feel real fade. Let the obligations that drain your energy dissolve. Let the habits that numb you lose their hold, because every time you say no to what is no longer true, you say yes to what is waiting for you. And what's waiting? Clarity, expansion, joy without guilt, success without sacrifice, love without conditions. That's not fantasy, that's alignment. But here's something people don't tell you. Alignment requires action. You cannot just wait for your destiny to show up. You must meet it halfway, with new choices, new thoughts, new behaviors. You must begin to live as the version of you who already knows she is free. Start small. Drink water like your cells are sacred. Speak words that feel like blessings. Spend 5 minutes in silence and listen to the guidance that rises. And if nothing rises at first, stay. Your presence is enough to invite clarity. Now, before we continue this message, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That single action allows these messages to keep reaching those who are ready to awaken. You are part of this mission. Your energy matters. Now, continuing the message. There's something important you need to understand. Every version of your future already exists in potential. Not just one, many. And each version is activated by your frequency and your focus. When you think, nothing ever works for me, you align with the version of your life where that becomes true. But when you say, I am supported by the unseen, you step into a future where miracles become your new normal. This is why the next code we unlock is intention. Intentions are not just wishes. They are energetic blueprints. They are the foundation upon which your future is built. If you've been living without clear intention, you've been drifting. But that changes now. Today, claim your intention, not just for what you want, but for who you are becoming. Say it out loud if you need to. I intend to live with clarity. I intend to choose truth over comfort. I intend to follow my soul even when it scares me. The moment those words leave your mouth, the field around you shifts. That's how powerful you are. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing. Willing to unlearn, willing to listen, willing to trust your inner knowing more than external noise. Because, beloved, the world will always try to convince you that you need more proof. But your soul doesn't work on proof. It works on resonance. And right now, something deep inside you is resonating with these words. Not because they are new, but because they are ancient. Because they are already encoded in you. You are not learning something foreign. You are remembering. And with each moment of remembering, you step further out of fear and deeper into embodiment. That's what the next phase of awakening is. Embodiment. It's not enough to know that you're powerful. You must live as if you are. It's not enough to understand these codes conceptually. You must allow them to guide your decisions. So here is your sacred invitation. Stop waiting for the world to validate you. Stop postponing your truth for the comfort of others. Stop pretending you don't hear the call. The angels are not whispering anymore. They are speaking clearly, and they are saying, you are ready. Ready to release the version of you that was only surviving. Ready to become the one who creates, the one who leads, the one who heals simply by being. The signs are everywhere. The numbers, the dreams, the sensations you can't explain. You've asked for confirmation. This is it. And it's only the beginning. You're standing on sacred ground now, the space between who you were and who you are becoming. There's no going back, and truthfully, would you even want to? Something has shifted inside you. You've crossed a threshold. You've seen too much, felt too much, known too deeply. This isn't a phase. This is your return, the return to your essence. And the universe, your angels, your higher self, they're all celebrating quietly as you read these words, because they know you're ready for the next code. This one changes everything. It's the code of self-responsibility. And before you resist, let's reframe what that truly means. This is not about blame, it's not about shame, it's not about should-haves or what-ifs. Self-responsibility is a liberation. It means you finally realize, that nothing outside of you gets to dictate who you are or what you create. Not the past, not the pain, not the projections of others. You are not here to fix what others broke. You are here to rise into what you were always meant to be. Read that again. Taking responsibility for your energy, your choices, your boundaries. It's not a burden. It's how you take back your power. Because when you stop waiting for others to validate your worth, support your growth, or apologize for your wounds, you stop giving away your peace. And when peace returns, alignment follows. Right now, the frequency of your life is changing. You may feel pulled to clean your space, let go of certain conversations, or simply rest more. That's not laziness, that's integration. You're becoming the kind of person who no longer chases energy. You attract it. And that shift begins the moment you stop negotiating your worth and start living like you remember who you are. But let's be honest, this level of awakening also comes with growing pains. People may misread your silence. Some may call your clarity selfish. Others might try to pull you back into roles you've outgrown. Let them. You don't owe anyone the version of you that you've healed from. The ones meant to walk this path with you will rise too. They will see your expansion and feel inspired, not threatened. They will mirror your light, not compete with it. Let your transformation be loud, not in volume but in presence, in how you carry yourself, in how you honor your needs, in how you say no without guilt and yes without fear, because the world doesn't change when you scream louder. It changes when you vibrate higher. And speaking of vibration, there's another truth that needs to be named here, one most people ignore. Your nervous system has been wired for survival. That's not your fault. It's a result of years, maybe lifetimes, of trauma, of programming, of environments that taught you to stay small. But here's the miracle. The moment you become aware of that wiring, you can begin to rewire. And that's where the next code activates. Safety. Not safety in the sense of playing it safe, but safety as in, I am safe to expand. I am safe to shine. I am safe to feel joy without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Most people don't sabotage their growth because they're afraid of failure. They sabotage it because they're afraid of what success might change, of what happiness might cost, of how freedom might feel too unfamiliar. So they stay where it's predictable, even if it hurts, but not you, not anymore. You are learning how to be safe in your power, safe in your truth, safe in your body, safe in your expansion. And that safety becomes the soil where your most divine timeline can take root. The angels are whispering this to you now. What you're becoming already exists. All you have to do is meet it. How do you meet it? By choosing differently, by not texting back when your spirit says no, by going to bed early instead of numbing your pain with distraction, by making space in your day for stillness, for breath, for reconnection. These small choices are not small, they are energetic agreements. And every time you honor them, the universe echoes your decision with synchronicity, opportunity, clarity. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to do it on purpose. So ask yourself now, what am I ready to stop tolerating? What truth am I ready to honor, even if no one else understands? What would my life look like if I believed fully that I am supported? These questions open portals, and the moment you start answering them with action, your field begins to shift. People will notice. You'll start attracting invitations that feel aligned, not draining. You'll hear from people who reflect your growth. You'll see doors open where before there were only walls. That's the power of energetic congruence. When your inner and outer world finally match, resistance fades, and so does delay. The truth is, the life you desire isn't far away. It's just on the other side of your current frequency, which means it's not about trying harder. It's about aligning deeper. Now is the time to release anything that isn't yours to carry. Guilt, obligation, outdated beliefs, all of it. Because what's coming will require space. And you, beloved, are being prepared for something extraordinary. Your soul didn't come here to survive. It came here to remember, to activate, to lead, and most of all, to live with intention, alignment, and joy. There's a moment in every awakening where everything goes quiet. Not because nothing is happening, but because everything is rearranging beneath the surface. That's where you are now, in that sacred silence between the old and the new. And while it might feel like nothing is moving, the truth is, everything is. The angels want you to understand something essential. You are in an energetic reset. This isn't a pause. This is a preparation, like the inhale before a deep release, like the tension in the soil before the seed bursts open. This stillness holds more power than you know. And that's exactly what this next code is about: receptivity. We live in a world that glorifies hustle, doing, chasing. But the quantum codes operate differently. They respond not just to action, but to openness, to allowing, to receiving. You've done the work. You've released. You've realigned. Now comes the part most people skip: letting it in. Letting in the guidance, the support, the blessings, the truth that your worth isn't something you prove, it's something you remember. Here's the sacred shift. Instead of asking, "What else do I need to do?" ask, "What am I ready to allow?" Because receptivity is an act of courage. It requires you to stop micromanaging your life and trust that what's meant for you will arrive, not through force, but through frequency. So take a breath right now, in through the nose, hold it, and release. Feel that? That's a moment of receiving. And the more you practice being available to what wants to come through you, the more your reality begins to reflect your readiness. But here's where it gets real. Most people block their blessings, not because they're not worthy, but because they don't feel safe having more. More love, more abundance, more peace. Because somewhere along the way, they were taught that too much means danger, that success comes with loss. That joy is temporary and should be kept at arm's length. But that story is not your truth. You are rewriting it now. And as you rewrite, your entire nervous system begins to recalibrate. You start to feel less triggered, less frantic, less attached to outcomes. That's not apathy, that's alignment. That's what it means to be in quantum flow, when you no longer chase timelines but attract them. When you live in such deep resonance with your truth that only what matches it can enter your field. And yes, sometimes that means solitude. Sometimes that means delay. But it never means disconnection. Because the universe never ignores a heart that is open. This is why the next layer of this code is faith. Not the kind of blind hope that waits and wishes, but the embodied knowing that your reality is already responding to your internal shift, even when you can't see the evidence yet. This is where most give up, but not you, because you understand something deeper. The proof doesn't come before the decision, it comes because of it. Faith is the frequency that holds the quantum field together. It tells the universe, "I trust you even when I can't trace you." And that trust creates bridges to timelines you couldn't reach with logic alone. So while the world screams for guarantees, you walk with quiet certainty. That is your power now. And it's calling in everything you thought you had to fight for. Right now there are blessings moving toward you, not because you begged, but because you became the version of you who could receive them. That's how quantum timelines work. You don't wait for them, you align with them. And every time you speak your truth, honor your boundaries, or choose rest over people-pleasing, you are collapsing the distance between who you are and who you came here to be. Now here's the next truth the angels want you to receive. You are not the only one awakening. Your frequency is lighting the way for others. People you don't even know are being inspired by your choices, your presence, your courage to heal out loud. This is the ripple effect of alignment. It doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives of everyone you touch, even silently, even without words. So if you felt invisible lately, or like your efforts don't matter, know this. Your energy is speaking, loudly, clearly, powerfully. The quantum field hears you, and so do the angels. They've been guiding you here to this moment, so you could remember what you forgot, that you are not waiting for your life to begin. It already has, and every breath, every boundary, every brave decision you make now writes a new future in real time. That's what it means to be a conscious creator. Not someone who controls everything, but someone who co-creates with the unseen. And you're doing it. Right now. Even in your uncertainty. Even in your softness. Even in your quiet hope. And that too is everything. There's something you need to hear, and it might stir something deep within you. You haven't just been going through random struggles, facing tests for no reason, or losing things at random. What you've been walking through is a sacred recalibration. and every experience, especially the ones that broke you open, was part of a divine sequence guiding you back to yourself. This is the moment when a different kind of vision begins to emerge, not the kind that looks with the eyes, but the kind that sees with the soul. It's time to unlock the code of inner vision, not imagination, not fantasy, but deep, intuitive clarity. A knowing that doesn't come from books, teachings, or opinions, but from within. Because the truth is, you've always known. You just stopped listening, but you're listening now. And as your energy clears, your true vision begins to return. You begin to see what was always there. The patterns, the lessons, the truth beneath the noise. And with that vision comes power. The kind of power that doesn't control, but understands. The kind of power that doesn't dominate, but aligns. The world has told you to look outside for answers, but the codes, they've always been inside. Your job now is to remember how to see with inner eyes, to trust what you feel before it's proven, to follow the quiet voice before it becomes a scream. Because that voice, it's never been wrong. You just needed to slow down enough to hear it. And here's the truth the angels need you to know. You cannot create a new life with an old vision. You cannot walk into alignment while still obsessing over paths that were never yours. And you cannot keep sacrificing your intuition for logic that was taught to you by those who were never in tune with themselves. This is your time to reclaim your sight, your ability to discern what resonates from what merely looks good, your ability to feel what's right, even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else, your ability to move without explaining, to trust without apologizing, to shift without asking permission. You are the authority now, you are the oracle, and what you feel is valid, even if no one else understands it yet. Because true vision is often lonely at first, but once you trust it, it becomes your most powerful guide. Now something very important is happening. As this code activates within you, you may start to feel pulled in new directions, toward different people, different environments, different priorities. Follow that pull, even if it's quiet, even if it scares you, because your soul doesn't scream, it whispers. And that whisper is your new compass. You are not here to continue cycles that left your ancestors empty. You are here to build timelines where peace is your baseline, not your reward. Where joy is your default, not your rare exception. Where fulfillment isn't earned, it's remembered. But that requires clarity, and clarity requires space. So this is your invitation to release the noise. Unfollow what drains you. Delete what distracts you. Detach from what no longer feeds your truth, because what you're stepping into next cannot be reached by dragging dead weight. You are becoming someone new, not because the old you was wrong, but because she was the doorway. And now that you've walked through it, the landscape looks different, and so do you. People may say you've changed. Let them. Growth offends those who've chosen comfort over evolution, but you didn't come here to make others comfortable. You came here to remember, to rise, and to radiate. So here's your permission. Be too much, be too free, be too honest, be too aligned, because what's too much for one person is the exact frequency someone else has been praying to find. You are the answer to someone's silent prayer. You are the reminder someone didn't know they needed. But more than anything, you are your own return. And with every new choice you make, your timeline shifts again. Because clarity isn't just internal, it's magnetic. It calls in the right people. It opens the right doors. It illuminates the right path, but only when you trust it enough to follow through. So ask yourself now, what have I been pretending not to see? What truth have I been avoiding because it would require change? What's trying to find me that I keep blocking with my distractions? Sit with those questions, not to analyze, but to feel. Let them rearrange you, let them unlock you, let them strip away the noise until only the signal remains. Because that signal, that's your calling, and you don't need to chase it. You just need to tune in. You've arrived here for a reason, not just because of the words, not because of the voice that's guided you through these codes, but because something sacred inside you recognized truth, and that recognition is the final key. You don't stumble into transformation. You respond to it. And now it's time for the last code to rise within you. This is the code of embodiment. Not learning, not practicing, not waiting, living. Because awakening isn't just about what you understand, it's about what you embody. It's not about saying, I believe. It's about walking through your life as if that belief has already shaped your reality. You've been collecting truths, lessons, confirmations, but now the universe is asking you, are you ready to live like you know? Are you ready to speak your boundaries without over-explaining? To walk away from situations that dim your light? To show up every day as if your presence changes the energy of every room you enter? Because it does? This is where the real shift begins. When your inner reality becomes so rooted in alignment that nothing external can shake it. Not opinions, not resistance, not even fear, because fear doesn't disappear. But you stop obeying it. That's the power of embodiment. You no longer try to prove you're worthy. You simply are. You no longer chase what's meant for you. You magnetize it. You no longer shrink to be digestible. You expand to be undeniable. This is what you came for, not to survive, but to resonate, to take up space as your whole self, to walk with the frequency of someone who is no longer waiting for permission. It doesn't mean perfection, it means presence. So what does embodiment look like in the real world? It looks like choosing peace over performance. It looks like being seen in your truth, even if it shakes. It looks like joy not being postponed until everything is better, but being honored as the fuel that makes everything better now. And embodiment means choosing again. Every day, every breath, even when you forget, even when you fall back into old patterns, you begin again. That's the difference now. You don't abandon yourself for long. You remember, faster, softer, deeper, and the remembering becomes your rhythm. You will notice your body softening. Your nervous system no longer wired to wait for pain. Your relationships becoming mirrors, not mazes. Your time feeling spacious, even when busy. That's embodiment. It's when alignment stops being a practice and becomes your default. The people who don't resonate with this new frequency, they will drift. And that's okay, because the ones who meet you here will reflect your truth, not your wounds. This is also where your impact multiplies. You're no longer just healing yourself. Your frequency becomes medicine for others, without even trying, without forcing a message. You become the message. That's the legacy of embodiment. It lasts longer than words. It reaches deeper than intention. It becomes who you are. And now that you've unlocked the 7 quantum codes, a new timeline opens. But it's not passive. It's responsive. It waits on your consistency, not your perfection. It waits on your willingness to live what you've remembered. So if you feel that stirring in your chest right now, if your spirit is vibrating, if your heart is whispering, yes, honor it. Step, speak, decide. And do it as if the future is listening, because it is. Every choice you make echoes into the field. Every decision to honor your truth rearranges your path. Every embodied moment becomes a seed for miracles. You're not here to chase your destiny. You're here to align with it. And the alignment has already begun. Let that truth settle. Let it wrap around you like the remembrance it is. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not waiting. You are the code. You are the signal. You are the awakening. And now, it's time to live like it. If this message resonated with you and your current moment, write in the comments, I am the signal. I walk in alignment. Share your experience below. Your words could be the light someone else is waiting for. If this message touched your heart, like the video and subscribe for more sacred transmissions. Thank you for being here. We'll meet again in the next message.